The region of Central Asia and South Caucasus is highly prone to disaster risks, including earthquakes, floods, avalanches and mudslides, events that are exacerbated by climate change. Children are often the most vulnerable in times of disaster, suffering death or injury, and also preventing access to essential health and education services. To meet this challenge, the European Commission, Humanitarian Aid and Civil Protection Department, ECHO, and UNICEF have partnered to address the disaster vulnerability of children and through them build community resilience. Thanks to this partnership, thousands of children, their teachers and parents are now better equipped to face a world more prone to dangers. These secondary school children in Georgia are now better prepared thanks to the lessons they receive and the games they have been playing. And some, like 15-year-old Tornike Gagadze, know about disasters firsthand.
This is where the mudslide came down from the forests and blocked the river here.
One Saturday morning after torrential rains, a landslide near Tornike's home blocked the Aragvi River, flooding a number of houses alongside it, his included.
It happened so quickly we only had a chance to grab important documents and money and get out. Everything else like furniture, clothes, the television was all lost.
We often have floods here, his father, Vajja Gagaja, tells us, but last year was the worst we've ever had. Everything was gone in 15 minutes. Nestling below the towering peaks of the South Caucasus Mountains and its foothills, the community of Maleta know the hazards in their school surroundings, with mud flows in spring and avalanches in winter. They know how important it is for their children to acquire knowledge and skills to protect themselves in the event of a disaster, valuing disaster preparedness activities.
The children are very engaged and carry messages home because it's the kind of life-saving information that you don't forget.
DRR will now be included into the national school curriculum starting from September 2011. When the siren goes off to signify an earthquake, the children at kindergarten number 53 in Almaty, Kazakhstan know just what to do.
We have to get under the desks as quickly as we can.
We have to hold on to the table with one hand and cover our head with the other arm and stay away from windows.
And when it's safe to do so, then take refuge in the stronger parts of the building before heading outside to safety and a roll call.
According to expert analysis, this will be the century of disasters. And the only thing we do not face here in Kazakhstan are volcanoes, tsunamis, and tornadoes. We have everything else.
And even some hazards other countries don't have. In this land of extremes, winter cold poses a particular risk to the vulnerable, especially children. And the government centre responsible for producing training materials for teachers has developed localized modules to meet this need.
We're a huge country and we can have critically low temperatures. So we have added a special module on this specifically for children.
As courses for teaching have been adapted, so some schools have adapted their method for monitoring and feedback. At this school in Almaty, children themselves provide their own photos and written contributions to give progress reports on DRR training, a unique first-hand student's perspective. This is also an example of even the youngest of children actively participating and contributing to the DRR efforts in the country with the support of parents and teachers.
The children themselves provide written materials for the feedback and also contribute photos from the different drills, such as building evacuations. It's the best form of documentation.
The people of Chengen village in southern Kyrgyzstan still clearing up after a massive mudslide that ripped through this community, wrecking scores of homes. Happening less than 2 weeks before, the memory of it is still painful for 10-year-old Ruslan Omabayev and his siblings. Within minutes their home was flooded, most of their possessions gone.
The flood took everything, my toys, my books, and it still gives me bad dreams.
Looked after by their grandparents and neighbours while they wait for a new home, these are difficult times, but at least they escaped with their lives. At this preschool in Batken region, the children are learning just what to do in the event of a disaster. In a community never far removed from the dangers around them, the teacher in this class lost 2 teenage nephews in a mudslide the week before.
Children between 3 and 5 really absorb this information and even tell their parents what to do. If those 2 boys who died had known what to do, maybe they would have survived.
In a neighbouring village, the lesson in DRR is particularly relevant for school friends Ipiri and Ijan. Their walk home takes them across a dry riverbed that becomes a raging torrent of mud and water when it rains heavily. Thankfully, both of them know what to do.
When we see the flood, we have to run for home and be with our parents, because the flood is bad and it can take you away.
This is something very new for us. Before, children would run out panicking during an emergency, but now they know exactly what to do. There is a big difference when children know who to listen to, who to follow, and how to behave.
It is a summer camp with a difference. A crucial exercise that the children of the Kimyogar camp in the Tashkent region of Uzbekistan are eager to take part in. An imagined earthquake at night, requiring them to evacuate their dormitories calmly and safely. Working with the Ministry of Emergency Situations of Uzbekistan and ECHO, UNICEF supports disaster risk reduction training for children throughout the education system. Projects like this one are evidence of the close cooperation between UNICEF and ECHO.
Where we can't prevent disasters, we can prepare better for them. And the DPECO programme was originally conceived to work with communities on disaster preparedness and on disaster risk reduction. Central Asia is a particularly vulnerable area. There are all sorts of hazards, earthquakes, mudslides, floods. Every year there are communities affected by natural disasters. Anything that we can do to help people prepare is very important. And children as a focal group are also very much at the core of what we do. Within the European Commission's humanitarian response, we've given a commitment that we're within our future programmes that I think between 8 and 10% of our budget will be allocated to disaster risk reduction and building resilience. We need to be able to give people the tools to face the hazards that we're facing. So for us it's something very, very important.
From the drills they practice in class to the real-life emergencies that many children have had to face, the best evidence of the DRR success is in the way they're able to lead by example.
I think it's a fantastic program, honestly, and I think I saw the simulation, I saw the response of the children there, and I know that in reality we don't only have to depend on the government and on the community, but we really can depend on the children, not only to save themselves, but to save their communities as well.